So what was the rating around in this game? Do you know?
I think it's plat.
Okay, yeah, so it's low plat, right? Because the previous one was like
Yeah.
high gold. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's similar rating to what you're already playing at on your other account,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So this account did get place gold 3, so
Okay, but it's
high
not
gold.
all that different. This is really unfortunate, but he trades you, so it's that's fine, right? First round, shit happens. I'm glad that you checked the corner and your teammate trades you, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
I tried to work on crosshair placement, but I don't think it's perfect yet.
The peak looked okay.
This is a little low, but
yeah, okay. So if you're gonna throw a nade, do it from here, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to, if you're wanting to throw it to the left, you need to clear this with a gun out, right?
Okay.
We definitely should not be peeking this without a gun out, because there could be a guy stood here, or where he is, right? So they could be preparing to push. And if you aren't doing this with a gun out, then you're just screwed, right? Better to check it with the gun out and then throw the nade afterwards, right? So check it first, then throw the nade. Don't know why this has gone to crap quality for me for some reason.
Oh, did it? Can you like change the quality on?
No, I wish I wish you could, but you just can't. Let me just, if I just refresh the pages, sometimes sorts it. Sometimes it just like brings the quality back up. Yeah, okay. What's the issue? Okay, so we die again because we didn't check it quite as well as we could have done, right? We should be checking it with a gun out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you can see the ranks.
Ah.
Yeah, for a second you could.
Yeah, when you press tab. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I trust what you said. This is the same kind of thing where I'd be checking this with your gun out first and then looking to use utility. It's much better to like have an understanding of where the enemies are first and then use your utility, right? Maybe you wait 10 seconds. Wait 10 seconds so that they're not like actively holding the angle. Then check it, see where they are, and then look to use your utility to get them out of those positions, right? But you don't really want to just like lob utility in without having some kind of idea of what you're going to use it for.
I threw that there to try to get the omen out of the corner.
Yeah.
If he was there.
We actually end up not using any utility, but we've got teammates like really deep onto site, so this is fine. The most important position here is probably U-Haul.
I got a kill there, by the way.
Yeah, I saw. No, it's nice. It's a really good.
The wallbang.
It's a really good position to wallbang, actually. Interesting that we're taking bomb every round. It's much better if you give it to your Sage. Almost certainly your Sage should have bomb. You really don't want to be the one carrying bomb because you want to entry frag as Raze most of the time, right?
So the 5-stack I run comp with likes to wants me on what did they say? They wanted me on Brim, but they want to run the no flashes, which is kind of weird, but they got it from T1. So apparently
So they want to play Brim Omen.
No, they don't want to play Brim Omen. They want to play if I scroll up in the chat or something.
Brim, Sova, Sage. Who else doesn't have flashes? Raze.
Yeah, Brim. It's that was it. Brim, Sova, Sage, Cypher.
Oh, Cypher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a T1 strat, and I don't like playing Brim, so that's one of the reasons I kind of go hovering back towards the other one too.
Yes.
The like
Yeah, I understand
Overwatch
that.
because they're like making me play Brim and I don't want to
Play what you want to play, dudes. Yeah, fuck them. Like, you're in plat. It doesn't matter. Like, it actually doesn't matter,
Yeah,
right? And in fact, in higher ranks, it still doesn't matter. It's much more important that you're enjoying what you're doing, right? Playing
yeah,
what you don't want to play is it's just pointless. There's no fun at all.
yeah. Like I'm okay playing Raze, but they have someone else who they see as more mechanically skilled than me and want to put them on Raze because they said that she's going to be pushing in first.
Well, that's typical.
But
That is typically the case. That they're not wrong about that, but you know, you're not gonna learn better mechanics by not doing anything. You know.
yeah,
And if you're gonna get the same rank here solo queuing, then that says a lot, right?
yeah,
Anyway, right, back to the point at hand. So you play what you want. That would be my advice. My advice would be play what you have the most fun playing. You know.
like I have the most fun playing entries or second in or like someone fast, you know.
Yeah. Well, then do that, dude. Like if they're your friends, they'll let you play what you want to play.
Yeah.
If they're just
Well,
guys that you're playing with, then it's
it.
kind of whatever, you know.
Yeah, I'd consider one of them my friend. Like, but the person who's like in charge is kind of an ass. So he's
Yeah.
like, you should play for the team and not yourself. And like,
I mean, well, screw it. I mean, like I said, it's a plat team. You know, do what you want.
yeah,
Get higher rank
it's not.
and then play with
It's
other
not
people.
even. It's not really even a team. It's just a 5-stack that plays comp.
Yeah, exactly. So then, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, we don't really want the spike here. There's a much better bomb body. Here, there's a guy close. Here's a shotgun, which isn't really ideal. You have spike here. Picking up this orb isn't really great for you. It really slows your team down, and it's actually, you know, you're playing entry. You should, one, not have the bomb, and two, you should be getting into the site as deep as you can, right? That is the most important thing here, is you get in really, really deep. You know, you're the one with the mobility. Even if it means using double jump pack to get like really, really deep. You know, like on top of the tube or something.
Yeah. And also,
Yeah.
did you see Hiko's tier list? And do you like agree with that? Right, because that's what they're basing off their the comp too. Is just like
not
Hiko
really.
said.
No. I think that the people in NA have very little understanding of what's going on in this game. So yeah, no, not at all really.
What do you think of TSM's comp, the no Sage? Because aren't they dominating the tournament scene right now?
In NA, yes.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's nothing international right now, which is part of the issue.
Yeah. I guess.
But I do think that the no Sage comp is completely doable, 100%. There's a team in EU called Fabricant who are probably the best team in EU right now, and they have been since the beginning of the game in playing no Sage. Long before anyone else was doing it. So.
Yeah, I don't know the EU scene as well as I know the NA.
Well, the thing is, NA stuff is like just streamers and shit, so it's kind of like irrelevant. They're not people that are taking it super seriously.
Oh, I know the Skadoodle, who's really, really good, but I don't know how serious he takes it now that he's...
Okay, so you have to go through this. This is awkward. So actually, the way you played this was pretty nice. Nice. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I needed to. Like, I don't know if I actually saw him. He's like saying I saw his toe, but I don't know.
I don't know.
It'd be a really hard thing to see.
Not the first time I've... Okay, so again, we've taken this spike every round. We really don't want this, right?
Yeah.
And actually, I think generally you're playing fine. I think we could be playing... We should be not having the spike and playing slightly more aggressive. In my opinion. Nice, no fear. Played off his flash really nicely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And do
much
you
better. This plant, sorry, it's much better that if you plant this further to the right, where they can see it from both angles.
Okay.
I'll just draw it. If you plant here,
Yeah.
it's open plant. It's much better. Are you going to ask
Yeah.
something? Sorry.
What is like, is that team comp you sent me still like the most viable one, or is it like
What did I
something I can
say?
bring up to the
Sage
people
Cypher
I'm queuing
Brim
with?
Raise Rainer. It's one comp. I think that people, honestly, people are playing what they want to play. People are playing whatever works for them. It depends on the map too, you know.
Yeah, like Raze is really good on split.
Like right now, mostly we're playing Sage, Cypher, Brim, Raze, Breach. I'll just write that down for you if you want. Shit. That would probably what we're playing most of the time. But it's a much more passive team comp, and it tends to play for retakes if you're playing defense. But it's very methodical, and it makes clearing positions very easy. And so that's why it's the kind of, and again we're playing to the strengths of the players in the team. We're not playing to, well, this is meta, you know. Not necessarily. I mean, it is actually. This comp is probably like default meta kind of stuff.
Yeah, and like, so Sage, Cypher, Brim, Raze, Breach, like, Is the Breach pick like on every map, or is that because I usually see him on split? And then
Split and bind usually. He also works incredibly well on Ascent, so basically everything but Haven. But he also works incredibly well on Haven, so it's kind of hard to, you know, rule him out. Because he's just so good at clearing awkward angles for you, right? You know, and the stun is incredibly powerful. With good coordination, I think a Breach is pretty much unbeatable. So
yeah, I could bring that up
super
to
high
my
skill ceiling.
team if I can get someone else to play Brim. I might be able to play Breach.
I mean, if you don't want to play Brim, you can always play Omen instead. He does the same job. You know?
Yeah, but there's the arguing. I tried to argue that too, but they said that the Sova spot usually plays Omen on split, so they want to play Omen and Brim on split.
I mean, why do they care? It's a 5-stack for fucking ranked, dude. Like I said,
they're really try hard.
I would not be worrying about it so much, you know. I'd just be like, do what you want to do, have fun, you know. You're not gonna climb if you aren't having fun. You're not gonna want to play more if you're not having fun. If you're getting forced to play a role you don't want to play, you're not gonna have fun, and you're then not gonna want to play the game anymore, right? Like, you know, winning is only so fun, but winning playing what you want to play is a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Okay, so this plan isn't ideal.
Oh, one foul.
We definitely want to consider what positioning we take here. So okay, so this is really awkward. We know that he's got a shotgun.
One enemy remaining.
Let her come out, let her come out, let her come out. Just stay hidden.
So you shouldn't be peeking this, right? Like he said, just let it come out. Or you should probably, before that point, probably trying to get towards him, right? Heading towards long so you can take the teleporter.
Yeah, I think I die here.
Yes, only just.
Yeah.
But you probably should have tried to exit before that point, right? Because there's no way he's going to defuse.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do this round. So again, we have Spike, which is This I find really problematic for you. I know. I've
Yeah,
said it a thousand times.
I
It's
don't know
really
why.
fucking up
So-
your life, you know?
Well, the thing is, a lot of people in the gold rank will just drop Spike no matter who they are.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, oh no, I don't want Spike, I don't want Spike, I don't want Spike, and then it ends up on me, and I'm like, whatever.
Okay, yeah. Don't be that guy. Throw it on the floor as well. You definitely shouldn't have it. You got to tell someone like this dude to have it, right? He's Sage. He should have the bomb.
Yeah, but I've gotten several games where Sages will drop the ball too.
Well, tell him, like, go in voice. Say, oh yeah, yo, Sage man, can you carry bomb? You should carry bomb.
Yeah,
You know?
I should do that.
Just ask them nicely, you know? Also, when you throw this out, you suddenly start looking at the floor. Like, who cares? And then we peek this. We'll get really lucky because we do such a terrible peek. But we don't have our crosshair where we need to check, right?
Yeah.
If we're going to peek this, we put our crosshair up here and we peek out, you know?
Yeah.
Or if you had some idea that he had an AWP, then you could just jiggle peek it. Or you could just run across with your knife out.
Pop down.
Careful. You will not kill my allies.
Best to not reload when you're walking out onto the site.
Yeah.
This is really bad timing for that reload, right? We should have done this before, or we should not do it at all. You still have 20 bullets. I don't think you need to reload, right? Like,
That's...
and all this you have in the bomb thing is making your life super awkward.
One
Okay.
enemy remaining.
We've got loads of money, so there's no reason not to push him here. There's no way that
Yeah.
he's going for it, right? So we
Yeah.
probably should have been a little bit faster on that push, but okay, he's an idiot. They still have a buy, but I'm still surprised that he was still there. He probably should have been saving at that point,
He
right?
popped alt, so he's like, I'm Reyna, I'm gonna kill everybody. Basically. Because Reyna alt feels like you're unstoppable sometimes.
Yes, sure.
Again, somehow I have the bomb. I
Yeah.
don't even think I spawn on with the bomb. I think it's one of my teammates that keeps giving it to me. I'm not sure though.
This is kind of unfortunate because you were actually looking for that, but okay. You kind of got timing to there, but I think it's one of those situations where I think we can like in my mind we should expect him to be here. And you do actually get your gun out, but I think you should probably be slow walking. Because the chances of him peeking this are pretty high, right?
Yeah.
So we slow walk, we put our crosshair here, and we cross and hold our crosshair on the angle. And that way you actually get a battle here, right? Because you can stop and actually fight him. But it's after this little battle here, right? We know our teammates just died in mid. He's flashed this, he's smoked this. He's almost certainly going to be playing aggressive here, right? Maybe you predict this because you do actually get your gun out right before this point. But
Yeah, because I saw the smoke.
I would be concerned of him being right here, you know, of having pushed all the way around to cut you off. So like I said, I'd be slow walking across this whole bit here and holding my angle on, holding this crosshair, holding the crosshair the whole time. And he catches you, which is kind of unfortunate. Okay, so you finally going to give the bomb off to someone else. Or just leave it on the ground. That's also fine.
Make 'em dance.
Well, it's somewhere close.
Okay. Crosshair, crosshair, crosshair.
Yeah.
You're literally stood out in the open where they can peek you and you're looking at the floor, right?
I was looking at the boom bot, but
Yeah, but if they're smart, what are they gonna do after throwing this
they're
boom
gonna
bot?
they're
They're gonna
peek
fucking
with
peek
it.
and they're gonna kill him and they're gonna kill you and they're just gonna spray the two of you down because you've lined up like potatoes, right? This is two
Yeah.
free kills for them if they peek from you, Hall. And we're reloading in the open again.
Spike carriers down.
Fire in the hole!
I got the spike carriers down. I have the spike. Satchel out. Last player standing.
Okay. How could we have played this better?
Spike carriers down.
Probably not push the spike instantly.
So we move to avoid that. We don't need to move this far away.
Carriers down.
And at this point, we should probably just be patient, right? Chill
Yeah.
here. Chill where you are right now and hold this angle.
Yeah.
Fire in the hole!
I got the spike.
We had no awareness of this ult. We could have pressed tab before this and known this was going to happen.
I have the
Um,
spike. Satchel
He actually rotates really nicely. But like I said, I would have been holding the other angle already.
down. I have the spike. Satchel out. Last player standing.
But it's a highly contested position and we're not really clearing it as well as we could be, right? We should be holding the angle a little bit longer. You don't want to go so aggressive.
Yeah.
In general, this position, the most important thing about this position is getting their utility out before you push it. Because if you're like your teammates are, they're going in one by one, they're dying to the utility, right?
Spike carriers
Um,
down.
At this point, now they're 2 down, we should probably just be patient, right? Even with the bomb here. They're going to predict you coming like this. They're almost certainly going to be holding it, you know? You're taking a disadvantage duel by pushing here.
Down. I have the spike. Satchel out. Last player standing.
Okay. So we've got the spike again. We've got our ult. Because we had an ult last round as well, right? And the round before.
Yeah.
So you really don't want to be holding your ult for too many rounds, right? You want to look, when you have your ult, you want to look for a play with it. A lot of the time,
Okay.
short is a great, on bind in particular, playing up short is really good. You know, you can just go for double satchel ult. And you can almost always catch someone out with that, right? It's pretty much a free play. So when you have your ult, make sure you're looking to use it. You know, you
Unless
don't want
they
to.
have an. I
Sorry.
was gonna say unless they have a nutty offer in heaven.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, but then you can just avoid him, right? You go use it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Sova's on dude.
For you.
So okay,
Sova's on dude.
For you.
I like avoiding silver alts. They
so
never can hit
when
me.
Sova ults like this, and we know he's solo on that site, what do you think we should do?
Rush him.
Rush him. Who cares if he's
Yeah.
ulting you? If you use 2 blast packs to get onto that site, he's gonna have to cancel the ult, right?
Yeah.
No fear. At this point, yeah, we should just be going, right? Avoiding the ult is great and all,
Omen's pushing him. Yeah.
but we should have been going aggressive too, right? Use your blast
Okay.
packs. Don't finish this round. You know, there's 2 guys left. This round's over, and we've still got all our utility. You know,
Yeah.
Crosshair is on the floor again, right? We
Yeah,
really
it
want this.
drifts down when I don't think about it.
Raises the lady.
This
Yeah,
is
I'm
not
waiting
at
for
all
it.
where you want it, right? You want it up.
Yeah.
Always at head height. Like, you should always have it on this line. You should never be pulling down. Unless you're shooting at someone. And you shoot that guy in the feet,
Player standing.
as you can see here. Shoot him in the feet. Because our crosshair's too low. Talk about this peak. The peak itself is awkward because
Yeah,
he's shooting at
yeah.
someone behind you. And when we have a man advantage like this, how should we play?
Passive.
Really passive, right?
Yeah.
because there's only 2 guys and they've got to clear every single angle, all of the corners, everything, and it's really awkward when there's only 2 of them because you can have a 3-way crossfire, right?
Yeah.
Because you can play like the cubby behind you, and then you have your guy that's in hooker. You're safe then, right? He just peeks out on your contact. You just chill. But we don't need to go aggressive now. It's much better to play passive in these man advantage situations. So 1, crosshair placement again, and 2, we didn't need to peek because we had a man advantage. We just didn't need to kill them, you know? Make their life as hard as possible.
I think I'm gonna ult here, and that's why I'm looking down. Yeah.
Okay. This is fine, but we needed to do this, right? Like, we fuck up the play. It's something you can practice, right? It's also here probably much better to use 2 blast packs because you get around this corner, you can actually see them all, and then you're gonna get the kill, right?
Yeah.
Satchel out.
Looking back on it, that's obvious, but during the time I saw them, and I was like, oh shoot, just shoot it. Like,
I mean, I'm glad that we used it because we have held it for quite a few rounds now, right? In fact, we probably could have been close to a second ult if we had used that one. Because, in fact, we would have a second ult. We would have already, this would be our second ult if we'd used that other one when we got it.
Yeah.
We just fuck up the execution.
I'm
Bomb buddy out.
It's one of those things that you just want to, you need to go and practice, right? There's actually a lot of VODs, a lot of videos on how to execute the double jump rocket.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's clear this properly. We are clearing all the positions, but we're doing it with our crosshair looking at the floor. Right? Again.
Because I'm focusing more on the looking at the position than my crosshair, but yeah.
But the thing is, all you do is just keep your crosshair. Your crosshair always stays at this side, and it only at like this height, and it moves left and right. Right? You're literally just moving left and right, like I am, like that, right? It's left, right, left, right. So all you need to do. You only need to move it up and down when they're going to be stood on a box or something, right?
Yeah.
Last round.
But it was nice to see us proactive with the ult. We just kind of fucked up clearing side properly.
Go get him.
Yeah.
Okay, so shoot the arrow. They do actually spot us. Even with your bot here, I still wouldn't have risked reloading like that.
Okay.
We shoot 2 bullets and we reload, right? If he shoots this bot and peeks out, you're just dead, right? He can kill this bot and kill you faster than you can reload. But he's super scared of peeking. And when we clear this, we've got to make sure we're slicing the pie, right? Clear this angle first, then clear this angle, right? There are 2 angles to clear here. Don't just flop out into it like this. Right, we walk around the corner, but we don't check this position at all. Also, our crosshair placement is still bad, right? It needs to be up here, head height, close to the wall. And then when we come round, up here, head height, close to the wall, right?
Okay.
Really need to keep on focusing on this because it's drifting down. I think it's fine to take this opportunity, but again, you've got the spike.
Yeah.
Also,
I realized that while I was in the teleporter and went back out.
It's also difficult because you're Raze, you know, and you want to entry frag, and if you're playing super passive, you're just not getting enough value for your kit, right? Your kit is incredibly powerful at entrying, so you don't really want to get caught in these positions where you're playing super passive.
Yeah.
So your
And they say
teammates
go
TPA,
A.
you go back. It's kind of awkward, but crosshair. Okay. Even when you're running along like this, your crosshair should be a head height, right? Because you need to train yourself to make that your default, right? It's just a head height, always a head height, always a head height, right? Do you get our gun out?
It was like shit.
Okay, and there's nothing you can really do about that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Bomb buddy out.
So at this point, we should be calling A. There's no one mid. Because you don't actually say anything, right?
Yeah.
Fine, we get a kill. And now how do we play the rest of this round? How should we play the rest of this round?
Passive. because
Passive?
they have- Yeah.
Because we have a man advantage, right? We force them to clear us out. It's really, really hard for them. So don't be looking like this. You don't want to be looking for aggressive peaks. This is like the complete
Yeah.
opposite of what you want to do when you have this man advantage, right?
Yeah.
And at this point, we want to be playing even more passive, right?
Go over. I'll stay.
We actually lost a guy.
We lost
in
a guy mid. No, he was mid.
Oh, he was mid. Oh, he was flanking.
For you.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm in smoke out.
Because we
I like how the Sage ran all the way to B to heal me.
He's doing his job. He's doing his job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is awkward because we've ended up in a 3v3. You have no
Yeah.
utility. So most important position to clear is U-Haul. When we clear this, clear every corner, right?
Yeah.
Crosshair at head height. You need to aim here this first. Then as you come up the stairs, you need to check the close angle, right? You need to check both of these. Because if someone's hiding in this corner, you're dead. Right? And that's actually a really, really good position for someone to play.
Yeah,
this,
because
check
I don't
this.
see it that much.
We do actually check that close corner on the right, which is good.
Ready for me.
Okay. How do we want to play this? Comes down to exactly the same points as before. We have a man advantage. We want to play a
Yeah.
passive, right?
Yeah.
Just you have a really powerful position. Your teammates are just chilling. You need them to push up, right? Because you need to play with the man advantage you have. You need 3 people. You need your 2 guys coming around this corner at the same time as you, right? Because we need to be playing with our man advantage. If we're playing solo, we're giving them a 2v1, right? And then these guys might as well be dead, which is just pointless, right? So wait for them, right? In this position, get U-Haul control. Great, you get that really nice kill on the Sage. Awesome. Then you need to wait because we need to coordinate with our teammates, right? We need both of them to come up and do this retake with us, right? There's no rush. There's no rush to do this. Like, okay, yes, there is actually time, but you can't do this on your own, right? You need your teammates to step the fuck up and actually do something. But you need to say that, right? Like, I'm waiting for you guys. Push up, push up.
Yeah.
Because you give the enemies a 2v1 here, right? Are you gonna say something? Sorry, I cut you off.
The other thing is, I talk a lot more when in games that I'm more comfortable on, like, talking, like, I know what I'm doing, basically.
Yeah.
Because so, like, in Overwatch, I'll yell at my teammates to do what, like, I'll be like the drill sergeant and, like, freaking tell them what the hell they're doing all the time.
Yeah.
But in Valorant, I don't know the game as well, so I'm not comfortable telling them what to do all the time. Like,
yeah, sure. Well, that's why we're here, right? That's why we're here doing this. So in this situation, we've got to wait for our team. It doesn't matter, right? No matter what, whenever you're in a man advantage, you need to play with the man advantage you have. And that's why most of the time you play passive, because you can just play a crossfire, and then you're playing with the man advantage you have, right? I mean, you're forcing them into a disadvantaged situation where they have to clear everything with less people.
yeah.
So our teammates fucked that up, but it wasn't just on them, right? You should have absolutely should have waited for them there.
Yeah.
Nice nade.
Smoke Evan. On site.
Okay.
2.
And you actually read this pretty much straight away, right? Because you don't hear anyone mid. So this was pretty good.
Spike planted.
Okay, this is not good.
Spike planted.
Just because there are 2 guys that should be holding this doesn't mean you should just walk straight across it when an enemy has just been shooting out of that doorway, right?
Yeah.
The bomb body's okay, but it bounces off the wall.
Yeah, I didn't. I expected it to just sort of
Last
go
player
over it.
standing.
And here, this is awkward because our teammates aren't talking, but get them to coordinate, right?
Yeah.
Like we need to play together. Just get it right. It doesn't matter if you know what you're doing. Just sound like you know what you're doing, right? Can we group up, guys? Can we push U-Haul together? Okay, let's push lamps together. You ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1, and you go through. All three of you push it together, right? And it's just so much better. Your omen smoke comes in. Oh, sorry, omen blind, and you're all pushing through it at exactly the same time. Okay, we just get fucked. But we're back on a buy round. Okay, same thing as before. We want to use our ult as quickly as possible. So making an ult play here is okay.
I usually wait till I know where they are.
That's fine, right? Jiggle peek this.
Yeah.
Because if you see that someone's there,
One fountain.
Start.
I did exactly what you said for once.
right? This is fine.
Two fountain.
You know,
Three fountain.
he says 2 fountain.
Okay, so
Two fountain.
Straight away,
this is
we
a
should be pressing
this is
our
a
ult, right?
misclick. Yeah, I press Q because I'm an
Oh, because
Overwatch player.
Overwatch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I press Q.
Fountain. Three fountain.
Here, I'm ready to-
I like. Well, shit. I pressed the wrong button. I meant to hit X there. And it would have been cool too because they were all going there.
Well, you would have done exactly what we said to do, right?
Yeah,
It's just a misplay. Okay, shit happens, right? No worries.
yeah. And that's like the one
You
of
had
the
the right
few times
idea.
that I've actually misclicked it on Q.
Yeah,
Like
you
I
had
don't
me-
usually do that.
but we did have the right idea, right? That is the key.
Yeah.
What we were trying to do there was absolutely the right thing. Okay. So again. Okay, so he wants us to play in the corner, but you have a fucking you don't want to be doing this, right? You're on an eco round even more. Even more importantly, right? You cannot be
Yeah.
playing defensively on an eco round if you've got your ult. You need to be proactive because you need to get a gun, right?
Yeah.
So this guy is just it's wrong. What he said is wrong, right? What we need to do is we need to play aggressively. You need to get a kill with your ult, and if you die, so be it. Who gives a shit, right? Because then he gets a gun or Breach gets a gun. Whatever, that's fine. But we should be grouping up and making an aggressive play to get a gun. That is the absolute key to winning these eco rounds, right? Or just doing economic damage. Winning them is kind of like, whatever. This is playing a winning strategy, which is just going to be bad, right? If they clear these angles properly, you lose because you've got a fucking pistol, right? So we should be looking to make an aggressive play here. With our ult, we catch them out, we get a gun, and then we have a chance if we have the gun, right?
Yeah.
So we're just going to sit in a corner, then we're going to have to rotate off because we didn't stack up.
Dude.
So TP back to B. We're going walkie face. Great. This is nice. That's really nice. Does he call his flash or did you just get lucky?
I got lucky.
So again, one of those things where we could be coordinating with our teammates, right? Can you flash me in? Can you flash U-Haul? Can you flash Hooker? Sorry. This guy can do it. This guy can do it. You got 2 guys that can do it for you, right?
Yeah.
Nice kill. So at this point, like I said, you really don't want to die without using your ult,
The elbow.
which you do, right?
Get out of here.
It's much easier to get this first kill with your ult,
Out of here.
and then whip your pistol out and get a frag, right? You probably also don't want to be playing quite as passively as
Spike
that.
planted.
Elbow.
When you have the man advantage, it's okay. Well, maybe we just have a man advantage. We have to play passive.
Get out of here.
It's already elbow.
I should have not
It-
peeked it while reloading too.
True. The thing for me is that you just really want to cycle your ult, right? Because you're gonna be getting value from it each time you use it.
Yeah.
Stand.
Fortunate. Okay. Fine. We just swap our setup up. We know there's... What is he doing? Right, so we know there's no one here, right?
Yeah.
Let's go, let's go. We've talked about this, in fact, in the last review, right?
Yeah.
Where... Okay. At least we use our ult.
Enemy spotted.
No fear.
Well,
Nice.
I tried to get a weird angle on him, but
Fine, that was
he
good. Oh, my lord.
teleports
May
like
have been a-
we both fucking ran out with our knives out. It's like
Thing is, you check it, and then you get your knife out. Why'd you get your knife out?
because Omen was teleporting, I wanted to get to him before he disappeared.
Getting or
You didn't know where the omen was, though, did you?
Thought he was the one with the op.
getting or
Oh. Oh, I see. I guess he must be.
Yeah.
But regardless, you have no info on this last guy, and you actually know that he's long, because you saw him up at the top of long just prior to this on the map, because your teammate had a little fight with him. However, 4 people alive, 2 people alive. How should we be playing?
Passive.
Absolutely right. We also have the bomb.
getting or
So once you kill this guy, it should be go the fuck back as quickly as possible because we won this round, right?
Yeah. Or I should get into that corner on the right.
getting or
Yeah, that would be fine. Going here is okay.
Yeah.
And just say, come, guys, I've got spike, and then your team push up, and you have all 4 of you playing around the spike. Great, that's perfect, right?
Yeah.
But play it passive, play it slow. You don't need to play aggressively now because we have a man advantage. Force
just
them to
got-
clear you out, right?
The whole thing here was I got greedy for the Omen kill because I heard him teleporting.
Yeah. Which you don't, right? Greed is bad in this kind of game, right?
Yeah.
It's all like, you know, the people that get the most frags, the people that play that play safe and play passive, right?
Yeah.
That you don't get greedy, right? You force the enemies to peek into you. You make their life really, really hard, right? You're a pain in their backside because they can never deal with you.
I still find that funny.
That's so
That
ridiculous.
we both had our knives out. I don't know why he had his knife out. It's a 2v4 and he's an enemy at the enemy side of the map.
True.
This guy's 900 IQ.
Nice. Okay. We're going to continue to go aggressive. Fine. One thing you want to do when you're making these peaks happen, use your blast packs, place it on the wall, and then peek out with it, right? It's something that really throws people off, and it just allows you to get a really, really nice wide peak.
I think that was Spike.
Nice, nice. That's a good nade.
Yeah, I don't think it hits anyone because they weren't pushing up for Spike. I checked if Spike's still there and the smoke disappears.
How do we need to play in this situation?
Passive, but I wanted to
Absolutely.
make sure Spike was there
It doesn't matter.
because we didn't know.
But it actually doesn't matter. Because we're 5v3, right? Who cares if they got the spike? It actually doesn't matter. No matter where they go, they don't have a massive man advantage, right? Worst case scenario, it's a 2v3. And your team, probably because they're defending, have an advantage in that situation. So we don't need to go aggressive, right? This is like a consistent mistake that we're making, that when we've got these man advantages, we're still trying to push. It's not just us, like your team are doing it too, and it's why that like a lot of these rounds are getting thrown, because we're pushing into them when we've got a fucking huge man advantage. Okay. And like this, it should never be a 1v1, right? If we trade 1 for 1 each time, it's always going to be a 3v1 at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, and we don't really care what happens. Okay, we're back on an eco. This is kind of unfortunate because we don't have our ult yet either.
You can't buy.
So again, but how do we want to, regardless, how do we want to play these eco rounds? Going back to what we said before.
Aggressive.
And
Like, get a gun and
Yeah. So
Then
how?
you play
So what would be the easiest way to do that? Like, yeah, playing aggressive, but what else?
ulting was one of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
things.
So typically grouping up, right?
Yeah.
If you stack up with your teammates, it's much easier to get these trades right and get the guns. Because a lot of time, once someone's gonna die, right? Because you can't out duel a gun if you don't have one.
Yeah.
If you've all got pistols, you always lose those.
Unless they
Um,
push me really close and I can right click them with a classic. I think actually they were pushing and that hits all of them, I think. Yeah. And then she shoots me.
I think they're big.
Okay.
I kept checking that, but it was a bad angle, I think. Just sitting there.
Oh, I see bomb. I see bomb.
That was kind of unfortunate. I'm not sure if there was a better way to play that for you.
Yeah.
I think they're big.
He just does a good job of checking it, and you don't have a gun, so holy shit, that is not a round we should win.
Yeah, I hit them both.
Yeah, the sage actually got a 2-tap with the shorty, so she got 2 kills with the shorty, with with 2 shots.
You will not kill my allies.
So, man disadvantage, how do we want to play? This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So how do you want to play if you have a man disadvantage?
Aggressive.
Aggressive, right? Because we need to equalize, we need to get kills. And you actually do a really nice job there, that was nice. 2 for 1, can't really complain. You did what you could, right?
Yeah.
And actually you made that winnable for your team, so good job. So we pushed pretty much every round. Playing one passive round is probably not a bad shout.
I saw them get a pick on B, so I assumed they would rotate A because they are a man down on them, were probably rotating, so I tried to outthink them.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, wait, we have like...
But they don't, and you don't actually see a person the whole game.
Spike.
Okay, oh wait, so what happens here?
No, Raze hit 26.
46.
Last player standing.
No, Raze hit 26.
How should we play this? Just thinking about it logically. There's a T word that I'm looking for that you and your Omen should be.
Team play?
It's just together, right?
Together.
Because you always get a trade if you're together, right?
Yeah.
Pushing into hooker solo. This is exactly the same thing we talked about before, right? We don't want to be going into a man disadvantage situation. They could both be looking hooker. And if you're peeking out here, you're then in a 2v1, right?
I think they were both looking Nuka.
Yeah, so that's exactly what we don't want to happen, right? Whereas if we go with our Omen, worst case scenario is a 2v2, best case scenario, you guys are isolate a 2v1. And you're playing to your advantage then, right? But it's really important that you're doing that, right? Because if you take this, you're just going to die. And you then leave your Omen in a 2v1, which is really, really hard for him. Okay.
I don't know where that arrow went, but
It lands up here, I think. It lands up on the top pack there somewhere anyway. But your Sage killed it.
Probably want to rotate early.
They don't really want to rotate too off, but when they get that pick, we don't really know what they're going to do.
Go behind, Bridge. Just use your ulti.
kind of just stay back and then I...
Yeah, you just play for fast rotate. Fast
Yeah.
rotate, fine.
and then I go back.
So this is one of those things. So what could we have played? How could we have played this differently to make this easier for us?
Probably stayed on A until that we got that pick and then taken teleporter with Omen.
Like specifically looking at your last VOD review, what could we have done?
I'm gonna have to look at the points.
So the key here is that we should probably have the read at this point that most of the time they're 5-manning, right? How many times have you seen them lurking one guy behind?
A couple times, I think.
I actually don't think we've seen it at all. Maybe once. But it's really uncommon, right? In
Yeah.
which case, you and your Omen could be pushing this flank, right? And then you have the info. You then have a read on them, right? You know exactly what they're going to do, and you can push that flank further, or you can rotate back through CT. But you then have info. Whereas if you're just chilling passive, you don't have that opportunity. And that's part of the reason why we were winning so many CT rounds before, is because we were pushing every round, and they're doing a really bad job. They were losing basically the duels, but you know, if you're winning all the duels, it's fine. Keep pushing. You're gonna find out what's happening. Okay, so we do rotate over to B, and we're not. Yeah, I was gonna say, when we're peeking this, you actually reload exposed to this angle, and this angle that is really common, right? And we don't peek into that with our crosshair out, with our gun out. So you want to fully check these things and then use your utility, right? This is also something we've seen a couple of times where we're not fully checking stuff before we use our utility. Okay, this is a really impossible round for you.
It was just saving.
Match point.
So we're now going to play an eco round. We have a few guns.
Because
But again, if we stack up with a teammate and we just push, we're going to get a kill, right? And then we're going to get a gun, and then we have a good chance in this round. Don't worry about your breach.
Yeah, someone went A, we all went A, and I didn't realize it because I'd been playing A. I didn't realize the one guy swapped sites.
But all
So I
playing
went
A
to-
is fine. You could actually play 5 people A, right? And you just push. That's okay. You know, you can justify that on a round where you don't have a good buy, because if you push, you get a kill, you get a gun. Great.
They're pushing.
So we peek out without a gun out again. Excuse me. We don't do this, right? Clear it first. Or don't over peek, right? You could peek like this and bounce your nade off this wall. That's okay, because you're not exposing yourself. But you peek out and completely expose yourself, right?
Yeah.
You will not kill my ally.
I don't know how that didn't work.
That's really awkward because they're literally all on the other side of this.
Yeah.
And again, man advantage. Chillax. Wait for your breach to come. Wait for him to use his ult, right?
One enemy remaining.
There's not a huge amount of communication going on there,
One. We could buy equipment.
which would have made that a lot easier, right?
Wall early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Back off. You got a good pick.
You can rotate Sage.
Okay.
Stay.
Okay, man advantage. We play passive.
I'm pushing hood.
Time to rotate, so don't over rotate.
This is awkward.
Sage, you have ulti.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to go back. When you got this pick, I think you probably should have pushed. Only because it's really difficult to play passive here and play it like really well.
You can rotate Sage.
We don't have enough info to kind of gamble on one side either.
Ooh, they're
One
droning.
mid.
This is okay. Playing 2A and playing for retake is okay in this situation. I think it's fine. But we have to play it passively, right?
I'm pushing hood.
And we don't want to over-rotate to B. Because you don't have any info. And then this is problematic because your Omen isn't playing passive, which is kind of on him. He throws this round by pushing.
So don't over rotate.
Lots of throws here. Lots of throws here. Okay, but we're now at a man disadvantage, so playing a bit aggressive is okay.
30 seconds left.
We actually need to get kills.
Your duty is not
Our crosshair, dude. Look at our crosshair. There could have been a guy here,
Yeah.
right? There could have been. That guy could have still been there covering that for
30
res.
seconds left.
Like, why? You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, we do have our ult.
I think
Splitting
I just,
up here is a
die.
really bad idea.
yeah.
Because again, like we said before, we want to isolate the enemies into where we have an advantage, right? If you go here, it's always a 1-on-1, or even worse. Let's say 2 guys have gone back here. It's 2-on-1, right? You can't ever win that.
Yeah.
Because you're doing retarded.
Okay, everyone's having a massive rage fit at the end. So
Yeah.
let's get some of those key points down. So one of the most important things that we've seen quite a lot, our crosshair placement, is still, it's better, but it's still not quite there, right?
Yeah, I have to like think about it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like, write it on a post-it note, stick it on your monitor, right? You got to be keeping it up all the time. You want to make it second nature, right? We need to make sure that we're fully clearing every angle without utility in our hands, right? Because it's something that we've seen quite a few times, right? So make sure we fully clear things before using our utility. Right, because a couple of times we've not really cleared stuff, and then we got caught out because we had utility in our hands. Can you think of another one? Another point?
The playing passive versus aggressive.
So playing based on the man advantage / disadvantage.
Yeah.
Right, so passive when man up and aggro when man down. Absolutely. And that's definitely something. So like playing to the situation. What else?
I'm really bad at is naming
No,
key
it's
points.
it's fine. You got that, dude. The whole point's to try and get your brain working, right? To get it to recall it, so that you're remembering and learning the stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So there's another one to do with our man advantages.
Another thing to do with man advantage.
Yeah.
Besides playing passive / aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
There. I'm not entirely sure.
So when we're like retaking the sites, we want to make sure that we're playing with someone else, right? If there is someone else.
Together, yeah.
So don't split up when you're retaking, right? Or don't let yourself get into a 1-on-1, right? Or don't isolate yourself when you're retaking.
Yeah.
It's fine if you split up and you're walking into a crossfire, the two of you, but like if you're going to be isolated in a 2-on-1 or a 1-on-1 when you have a man advantage overall, it's bad, right? Because you're not playing to the man advantage you have.
Mm-hmm.
Pushing the flank, I think, is something that we're missing out a little bit on. I think we're a little bit too scared sometimes, right? Particularly on our defense, I think we could be pushing the flank a little bit more frequently. Like you're going showers, you see there's no one there, fine, push out, check if there's anyone short. Okay, no one's short, great. You know, you don't have to go super aggressively. Take your time. Be really slow about it, you know?
Okay.
But we don't have to be scared of pushing that flank, right? Because that information allows our team to then, you know, play much more effectively.
So play more fearlessly.
Yeah, exactly. Pushing the flank on defense. And it's something that you, again, like we didn't really do in the previous VOD, because you weren't like getting that read on them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've written crosshair placement. Make sure we fully clear things before using our utility. Playing based on a man advantage / disadvantage, passive when man up, aggro when man down. Don't isolate yourself when you're retaking, and pushing the flank on defense. I think there's another point that I can think of. Can you think of anything else? There's probably more than one, but I can only recall one myself.
I'm trying to think, but it's really hard for me to like name. My memory is shit. Like
This is why
like,
we write it all down at the end, right?
Yeah,
This is the whole reason that
yeah,
we do this. So I think the
yeah, but
other thing that we mentioned a few times was making sure we're using our ult, right? Looking to make a play when we have our ult.
yeah, that's the ultimate like usage.
Yeah, which you did do a few times, but like we could have been a little bit more proactive on it other times. So like, you know, when you have it, check. Oh look, I've got my ult. Okay, I should be looking to make a play with it this round.
And what's your opinion on Phoenix? Because in Hiko's like tier list, it's basically has all my friend like that group of people basically convinced that Phoenix is shit because he put him in B tier.
Yeah, he's not super good, to be fair.
Okay.
Because he's just got flashes. Reach has flashes. I mean, Omen has flashes. And they're better. And they have more utility that's useful elsewhere, right? So that's kind of the problem with Phoenix, is that like he's a solo queue warrior. He's great if you're, you know, you're solo queuing and you want to play and look after yourself. But he's just like a bad Reyna most of the time.
Okay.
Would be my opinion on it.
So Reyna's better than C tier, then I would assume.
Yeah, God, does he have Reyna lower than Phoenix?
Yeah, he rates Reyna lower than Viper.
Okay, well, Hiko's an idiot then. No,
He-
I don't
he-
know. I mean, everyone has their own opinion, but it's just like people in NA, I mean, maybe they just don't know how to utilize it. I just don't know. You know, I've seen people be fairly effective with Reyna in EU, so maybe it's just one of those things. Although thinking about Reyna isn't really that good, but I think that like she has a place. I think she's equal to or better than Phoenix for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also like yeah, I forget. My memory shit. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. Do you have any questions? Anything else you want to ask? Because I think we've kind of covered everything that we covered in that VOD. As always, you know, keep focused on the stuff that we've talked about. You know, if your memory's crap, write it down. You know, that is the absolute key to doing this. Get yourself a little notebook, write in it. Get post-it notes, write on them, put them on your monitor. You know, you've got to ingrain them in your head. You know, the crosshair placement thing. Keep on forcing yourself to do it because it does look.
Yeah,
it did look better, right?
I do think
yeah.
about it a lot.
Yeah, and just keep on doing it, and it will go in eventually. You know, it's just about repeating it and forcing yourself to do it all the time.